Welcome back to the Accountability Hour, the podcast where we tackle double standards, self-improvement, and the messy realities of relationships. This is Lynn Watchhorn. I recently saw a video where she was saying, I wish I had the confidence of a straight, ugly man. I know it seems like I'm reaching for low-hanging fruit here, but I feel like this is part of the double standards that I've been bringing up for so long now. Women are always talking about how they want a confident man, but if that confidence comes from a man that they don't find attractive, it quickly becomes him being arrogant or entitled or all these other horrible things. But when a man that they find handsome is actually being assertive, that's alpha energy, it's sexy. But everyone finds different things attractive, so basically these women are basing all of this on their perception of what is and isn't attractive. So an average or, quote, ugly guy doing the same thing, being confident and showing up, who the hell does he think he is kind of mindset. And what I also find funny about this mindset is women are always talking about not wanting to be judged by their appearance. We don't want to be objectified based on that. We don't want our value as human beings to be based on what we look like. But then some of these women will turn around and do the exact same thing to men, not realizing that, it needs to go both ways. But these are also the same women who would speak up and call themselves girls, or saying that they value women when they really don't. The whole underlying thing about this is that they don't believe that certain people deserve confidence unless they've been pre-approved by society or attraction standards. And it doesn't take much to find that, for women specifically, a lot of women look the same now. And I also feel like more rigid beauty standards are being applied to men as well, where you have to look a very, very specific way. And if you don't, you're considered ugly. I know for women, it's often, Botox or lip injections. For men, they need to be tall and strong and have a certain face structure that looks masculine. It's kind of like the women that say that they want a man that's vulnerable, but then they make fun of him when he is. Or again, if they don't find him attractive, they find him being vulnerable disgusting. Also, it kind of branches off from the women that say that they want equality, but they're also not willing to make the first move, take rejection like men do. And they're not willing to put as much skin into the game at the first part of dating when getting to know somebody. Because women ultimately have minimal risk with that. They're not risking their financial position and communicating up front, and they're putting themselves out there to be rejected potentially. And the reason why I brought this specific thing up is because I always hear women talking about what they want or how easy it is for men to date, but then they counter it with the exact opposite thing, shaming men for the very thing they're asking for. I also feel like with this comment, there's a deep underlying insecurity that woman herself has. Because how dare this man, think well of himself because he's confident when she's not that way herself. She doesn't feel good about herself, that she's looking for external validation in everything that she does. Otherwise, she wouldn't be saying something like that. I feel like a secure person isn't worried about some random person that they may not find attractive feeling good about themselves. It's just such a weird thing to me. She's probably thinking the same thing about women, but she's not going to ever express that because these days you cannot cite against women in any way without being heavily shamed, criticized, or bullied for it. So I don't think she would dare go the other way, which is kind of funny because when you express opinions like that, it's easy to assume, okay, this is how they see everybody. If she sees a woman that's maybe a little bit more nerdy, she's not conventionally beautiful herself, but she happens to be confident, she's probably in that comment section of that woman shaming her in some way or form. I actually have a lot of women in my comment sections like that, and it's kind of funny to me at times. But also, did she ever consider that maybe the confidence came from something other than the man's appearance? Maybe he's done a lot of wonderful things and he's got a great personality, and his confidence doesn't come from superficial things like beauty or status or approval from his peers necessarily. And for those of us who maybe started off in life as very self-conscious and low self-esteem, and we had to build our confidence throughout time, we know how much inner work that often takes and how much you had to push through to get to that point. In a lot of cases, confidence is fully earned. And again, that's why it's ridiculous to shame it like that. I actually feel sorry for women that have this type of mindset because they spend their whole lives believing in superficial qualities in order to have the permission to be confident. They have to be pretty, thin, agreeable, desirable, but not too available. They have to be successful. This huge list of things that sometimes don't matter, except for maybe the success, And it's also crazy because sometimes these women, instead of working on themselves and healing, they go around bringing other people down, usually men, every man they date. I have seen this situation play out in a lot of men's relationships where they're dating this woman that's incredibly toxic, and her entire goal is to just destroy him from the inside out. It's the saddest thing to watch. Because these men are genuinely invested. They love this woman. They want to be with her and have a healthy relationship. They do everything that they can to fix things. But her only goal deep down is to destroy his self-esteem, make him undesirable to another woman ever again. And that's why when they finally break up, even if she initiates it, she is so livid when he upgrades to a woman that actually cares about him and loves him, because she never anticipated something like that from playing out. And I feel like this woman's video perfectly communicates that she has this mindset where someone else has to lose so she can win. Like, that man couldn't be confident, and then she could also be confident, and they could both feel good about themselves and coexist in this world. No, one person has to be below, and the other person has to be above. Confidence isn't necessarily something that you should have to earn with beauty or basic superficial qualities, and it's sad that she sees it that way. But unfortunately, if she doesn't heal herself, she's going to bring down every person that she ends up dating or interacting with. And what she doesn't realize is that straight, what she sees as ugly man is not her enemy. In fact, she, instead of mocking him, she should be learning from him. Because he clearly has a trait that she wants for herself. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might benefit from it. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and let me know your thoughts.